If you are a woman, don't ever do this. Do not ever do this. So basically, I was walking in a store and I passed this certain aisle and there's this girl in this aisle and she's just staring at me and I'm deaf with my right ear. So she's saying something and looking at me, but she's talking really quiet and she's on my right side. So I'm like, wait, what? And then I kept saying like, what? Because she was super quiet. And then these two other ladies got in between us and they got in our way. So I was just like, okay, like maybe she's not even talking to me. Like maybe I don't know. Like I was just like in a rush too. I buy my stuff. Right before I get out of the store, I see her again. I go up to her and I say, hey, were you trying to tell me something? And she was just like, yeah, I was talking to you. I was just asking if I can get money for my baby formula. So I was just like, yeah, of course. Like, where's your stuff at? She takes me to her cart. So we're in the self-checkout and she's buying the baby formula. It comes out to like $168. Once I finish buying it, this girl tells me, I don't know if you see those two girls, but they're talking crap about us. And I was like, what? So then I turn to my left and there's these two beautiful, young, darker looking girls, and they looked like the type of girls like you would think that they would also want to be there for a woman. But they were literally just mad dogging both of us, and they were both like, what the hell are you looking at? Like, do you have a problem? Are we gonna fight? Because if we're gonna fight, like, say that. I was very shocked when I seen that, because, like, girl, like, you guys are women. You guys should know the struggle. Like, you guys should know how it is. What are you judging us for? Moral of the story, don't judge people. We're all made to help each other, not be so against each other. What you do comes back to you times 3. So if that's what you want to put out in the world, it's going to come back to you times 3, Miss Girls. I wish I would have socked both of you, but I have God. You're lucky I have God.
Get ready with me for the worst half birthday ever. So in my family, we have this thing where you get to spend $5,000 on your half birthday on whatever you want. Like, that's always been the rules and nothing has ever changed that. So the fact that it's changing this year is just making me so mad. Basically, since I got a new car a couple days ago, my dad's cutting it to $4,000, which isn't fair at all because I had already chosen 2 Gucci purses that I wanted. And to make matters 1,000 times worse, I look so pale because my boyfriend sat my pull chair in the wrong direction yesterday. I know my boyfriend feels horrible about his tragic mistake, so he actually bought me a new outfit to go shopping in. It's this cute little bra biker short set from Kagi. I'll link it in my Amazon storefront under cute clothes. The least he could do after sabotaging my entire tanning day. He also bought my friends matching sets, and I was like, yeah, you thought you were buying my friend gifts. It's like a pink and a blue set, but they're all mine. The sets are comfy and cute like me. Don't forget to say happy half B-day.
Get ready with me while I tell you about how my teacher came to school wasted. So it's 8 in the morning and it's exam day, so we get 30 minutes of extra study time before our test to just study. So don't mind how my nails are going. So at this point, this is after the pledge. It's probably around 8:05, and my teacher, is still not at school. So we're sitting there and we're just waiting for her to come because it's really weird that she's not here, and it's exam day, which is an important day that we need our teachers to be here for. About 10 minutes go by, so it's around 8:15, and she still is not here. So we're all just sitting there wondering what to do, and then there's a knock on the door, and it's her. She comes stumbling in, and she's like talking to herself, which is really weird, and she's like can barely walk, and she looks like not good. She looks like something's wrong, and we just all ignore it, and we're just glad she's there so that we can actually take our exam. So she sits down in her chair and she's just like rocking back and forth, like talking to herself, acting really weird. She doesn't open her MacBook at this point, which is kind of weird. And it gets to the time where it is 8:30, so it's time to take our exam. And she still hasn't opened her MacBook at this point, but we don't want to say anything because we kind of don't want to take our exam as high school students would do. And so we're not saying anything as she's not opening the exam, and she's just sitting there, and it gets to like 9, so it's like 30 minutes past the time we're supposed to start the exam. One of the kids in my class decides to send a message to our principal explaining the situation, and the principal comes to the class. So the teacher gets pulled out into the hallway, and another teacher comes in and is just watching us, but she can't start the exam because it's on the main teacher's math book. Then she's like in the hallway and she starts like sobbing with the principal out there with her. So the principal, they were out there for a good probably 20-25 minutes before police officers walk in and take her stuff and handcuff her and bring her outside. After that, we didn't really know what was going on, but from the information that I've gotten from people just talking, she had a breath thing of 0.8, I'm pretty sure, and she got arrested and fired, and now there is a new Spanish teacher, and nobody knows what happened, why she came to school like that. And she was like, she had a normal family. She had 3 kids and a husband, so she was like normal, I guess you would say. We later find out that her husband got arrested and fired from the school he was teaching at for going to school drunk the same day. So nobody knows the reason behind why they came to school like this, but I hope everything's okay with her family. And it was just like, I don't know, but I really hope everything's okay. Thanks for listening to my story time. Bye.
Get ready with me, things my ex did, and I still stayed. Disclaimer, I dated him from my freshman year of high school to college, but he actually is a really nice guy. We were just young and we live and we learn. Starting off strong, number 1, he kept me a secret from his friends for 3 months. Like, babe, why am I being hidden? Number 2, he told me he never loved me my senior year of high school, which set me into a spiral because I was like, what do you mean you never loved me and we dated the entirety of high school? I mean, I'm not gonna invalidate his feelings or whatever. This one still low-key haunts me to this day, but he joined the cheerleading squad, one of 2 boys, by the way. One day, I walk into practice and the girls are like, oh, why are you here? To which I respond, I'm here to drop something off for my boyfriend, and everyone's like, who's your boyfriend? So I say his name and this one girl goes, oh, I'm literally just standing there like, and then she goes, I thought he was with her. So naturally, if another girl thinks that my boyfriend is with another girl, I brought it up to my boyfriend and he responds with, I've known her longer than I've known you. And like, he pulled like the, you can't tell me who to be friends with. Boy, if you want to date her, just date her. It definitely gets worse though. Like, he was still in love with his ex situationship for a good chunk of the beginning of our entire relationship. And he would like bring her up. And she was one of like my close friends. So what a pickle. Lastly, he would actively let his best friends talk shit about me. Like, really bad things too. And his friends would say this in front of his face, in front of my face, and he never defended me once. And of all the things low-key that bothered me the most, my hair's not cooperating with me today, but that's basically it. Bye.
Get ready with me while I tell you guys how I got cheated on with my best friend. So me and my best friend have been friends for like so long. If I'm for sure, it's been 8 years already. So me and her are literally like this. Anyways, me and my boyfriend were dating for around 5 months. And I just found out that they have been texting each other for like 3 months. Not only were they texting each other, they were sending nudes to each other. But anyways, that's not how I found out. I found out like a week ago that he was cheating on me. How I found out is because his car is a gray Jeep and our town is like really small, so it's like very like, you know when it's him because of the car. So about his car, I saw his car at my best friend's house, so it was like very like oh my god, like what is he doing at my best friend's house? So I was like freaking out so much because he wasn't like texting me like he normally does. So I was like spamming texting him, and then he finally answered. So I asked like, where are you at? Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you texting? And then he says, I'm at the gym. Literally when he said that, I started bawling my eyes out because I'm like, I know he's lying because I just saw his car at my best friend's house. So while I was crying, I grabbed my car keys and drove over to my best friend's house. So I pull up in my best friend's driveway, and then like go in the house because her house has like the door password and we're literally best friends, so I know it. So I put in the code. So I'm in her house and then I go upstairs because her room is upstairs. The first thing I noticed is that her room was closed. Her room is never closed. So I'm like, there's something up. So I went in the room and guess what I saw, guys? They were making out in her bed. You just saw their faces. both of their mouths dropped. And I started bawling. And then she yelled, "You always have to ruin everything." I'm like, okay, calm down because you're the one ruining things right now. So that's basically what happened that day. A lot more happened, obviously. If you guys want to know what happened afterwards, let me know about me and my best friend, and I'll make another video. So that's how my year of 2024 went. So yeah, bye guys.
Get ready with me while I tell you guys rules for my future kids. Okay, so first is if I'm not their favorite, then they're getting whipped. Okay, that's just a joke. I would never put my hands on my kids. So let's actually get into the actual rules. Okay, first is I want my kids to go to church every Sunday until like they can tell me, "Hey mom, like I don't like this. I don't want to do this." Because one, I don't want to be the type to force religion on my children. And two, all I can do is lead them in the direction that like I want them to go in, but if they don't want that, then they don't have to do it. And I'll never agree with parents that like force it on their kids. Okay, next is my kids can date whenever, because I remember when I was in 5th grade and I had like a little boyfriend and it was just like silly and stupid. But I guess one rule that I would have is like a curfew when you're out with your boyfriend. And obviously the door can't be locked, but it can be shut. Okay, next is like getting a phone or electronics at a certain age. Honestly, for me, I don't really care. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna let my 1-year-old have a phone, but at the same time, like if I'm busy and I need them to be distracted, obviously I'm gonna put on TV. But like say we're at a restaurant, my kid isn't gonna be on the iPad. Like I just don't agree with that. And then I feel like kids get phones around age 10. So I guess that's like whenever I'd be like, okay, we can talk about it. But I honestly don't know. I guess it just depends whenever my kids start asking for that kind of stuff. Okay, next is I want my kids to be in sports. Like I want my kids to play baseball and softball. And so I'm gonna put them in that like while they're young. And then when they tell me like, hey, I don't want to play this, I want to try this, then they can make that decision for themselves. Okay, next is sleepovers. I'm really iffy about this because I've heard so many stories and so many horror stories about sleepovers. So I feel like while my kid is younger, I'd like to meet the parents first. But as I get older, I think I'd be like more willing to trust them and what they're doing. Okay, next is whenever my kid gets a car, I'm gonna buy them their car and I'm gonna pay for their gas and I'm going to pay for their insurance. But they will have a curfew because if I'm paying for all your stuff, then you will be home at a certain time. Which the curfew will like get later as you get older. But at 16, it'll probably just be like 11:30. And then obviously on school nights, it'll probably be like 9:30. Okay, next, this one's really controversial, but I'm gonna accept my kids like for whoever they love or whoever they want to date, because I don't want to be one of those parents who are like, oh no, you can't do this, or you can't date them, you can't date that. Like, no, I want my kids to be comfortable enough to come to me and be like, yeah, this is like the way I am, da 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 da, and I'm gonna accept them and still love them because that's my kid. And that doesn't change who you are as a person. I feel like there are a lot of homophobic parents out there, and I feel like I could just never be that hateful towards my kid if they chose to love someone who like was the same gender as them. I don't know, everybody has their different takes on that, but that's just mine. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye. Oh shit. Get ready with me while I tell you guys how me and this one girl were beefing the whole 5 days in Chicago. Okay, so if you haven't seen the fight video on Colette's account, go check it out. I'll tag her in the caption. But basically, here's the story time. Okay, so whenever I first got to Chicago, me and her were good. Like, we had met before, we had been close, made a few TikToks before, like, we had known each other, we were actually pretty close. I thought she was, like, one of the sweetest people I met, because, like, that's how she comes off, that's how she presents herself. But, boy, was I wrong. Okay, so I'm really big on people, like, not taking my stuff without asking, or at least, like, asking to borrow something. And I don't really like sharing makeup, just because I feel like that's gross, and, like, I'm kind of a germaphobe, so I'm not a big fan of that. So one of the things about her that kind of, like, rubbed me the wrong way was that she would use my makeup without asking. And I kid you not, I almost lost it whenever she used my mascara, because I'm so big on not sharing eye makeup just because I've gotten pink eye so many times. So I literally almost lost it on her whenever she just took my mascara without asking. So I did get a little snappy with her. I was like, hey, like, I really need you to start asking before you use my stuff, because I don't share mascara and I just think that's really gross. That's literally all I said to her, and then she rolled her eyes and walked away. And then whenever all the girls were getting ready in the bathroom for Olivia Rodrigo, we were all putting on face glitter. And so then I put on face glitter and she told me that I looked terrible with it. And it honestly kind of did hurt my feelings because I thought it looked cute and I thought it looked good in the face glitter. But she told me it looked terrible on me and that I should redo my whole makeup. So after all that happening, my day was kind of ruined at Lollapalooza. And I feel like I just like couldn't enjoy like all the people I wanted to enjoy because I was just overthinking about that situation the whole time. So I kind of did have a bad day at Lollapalooza. Also, while we were at Lollapalooza, I was trying to like dance with Colette and Kaylee. And I don't know if this girl like felt left out or something, but she comes in and she shoves me, like physically shoves me into another person just so she can like start dancing with Colette and Kaylee too. And so then like I'm like shoved and left out now. And the thing is, we honestly could have just made room for her if she would have asked, but she didn't ask. She physically just shoved me. So after that, I was honestly so done with her at that point, and I did get a little bitchy. And me and her like started arguing at Lollapalooza. I don't know if anybody saw this because we low-key like were doing it secretly because we didn't want our managers or anybody to know that like we were arguing or fighting because like me and her were literally beefing that whole trip. And mind you, this is only like day 2 of us being there and we had 5 more days to go. Fast forward to the second day we were at Lollapalooza. So this is like the problem that we had with the camera. She was the only one with a digital camera. So like I wanted photos by myself because I don't really take pictures by myself. And so she did take a few, which I'm very grateful for. But the thing is, I feel like the whole time while she was taking my pictures, she was being so rude and making it sound like a chore. But when any of the other girls asked, she'd be like, oh yes, of course. So that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. And then another thing, she was going to delete like one of my solo pictures that like I looked so good in. Like I'm not even like trying to be cocky or anything, but I'm not photogenic. Like I cannot take photos. And that was like a one good photo of me that like I actually needed because I do not take photos. And so she was trying to like delete that off her camera to free up storage for more photos of other people. And I was like, wait, like, can you download it first and please send it to me or something before you delete it? Like, I really need that photo because I don't take good photos. Like, guys, I was literally begging for that photo, like, on my hands and knees pretty much because I wanted the photo. Eventually, I do get some of the other girls to get on my side. So she does end up, like, not deleting it, thank God, because I really wanted that photo. I feel like after I put up this video, she's gonna come up on here and say a bunch of lies, but I have so many people that can vouch for me on all this, so... And in Colette's video, I know it seems like I'm the problem and I'm seeming bitchy, but that's because I was just so fed up with her after all that. Like, I don't think anyone understands how fed up I was with her after all that. And I did say some pretty mean and hurtful things, but it's because, like, she'd been giving me, like, issues the whole trip, and I was just so ready to go home because I was just, like, not having a good time anymore. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed my story time of that whole video because I know I had a few people asking me for it. And yeah, bye guys.
These are things I did in middle school, I guess because I wasn't getting enough attention. I went on Amazon and with like the $40 I probably owned, bought a bag of 500 tiny plastic babies to hide around my middle school halls, just for fun. I had a middle school class of about 30 kids, so there really was not that many people I was trying to impress with this prank. Everyone noticed and cared for like 2 seconds, and then the teachers just started getting mad and throwing them away whenever they would see them. And I didn't even use all of the babies. I still have leftover plastic babies from this prank. It was really not that funny, but I guess it was worthwhile to just stir up some mischief in my class of 30 kids 2 weeks before we graduated. I made probably the most horrendous thirst traps you'll ever see in your whole life. On school days, I would wake up like 30 minutes earlier than normal in the morning to invent little colorful eye makeup looks. So I would show up to school every day with really weirdly placed colorful eyeshadow on my eyes. But that wasn't enough for me. That wasn't enough attention. Keep in mind there was only 4 other girls in my grade, so that really stood out that I was doing like extra makeup and stuff that I didn't even really like. I think I just wanted people to talk to me and comment on it. Having people comment on it in person was not enough for me. I needed TikTok to see. So I would be in the car with my mom driving me to school in the morning, making transition videos for my eyeshadow looks. I was in 8th grade. I didn't know what I was doing. I had my James Charles palette and a little bit of an ego, and that was enough to make me think I could be a whole makeup artist. I was not the cutest. And I so wish I could tell you I stopped doing that in middle school, but I did not. No, I didn't. The weird, inventive, colorful eyeshadow that wasn't even eyeshadow continued all the way up until the end of freshman year. In case you're wondering if I was cool, it was not. It did not work. But I don't regret any of it, because I was trying something, I guess. It was like character building or something.
Get ready with me and grab your popcorn because we have a messy story time. But I also need your guys' help with the whole entire situation because I don't know what to do about it, so let's get right into it. So during the summer, I used to talk to this guy for like a little bit, for just like a couple months, but you know, we decided to just like end things and now we're just like friends or whatever, right? And we both have this like acquaintance or whatever you want to call it, just like this like kind of like mutual or whatever. And he is dating this other guy who's also like some guy I used to know. Like he was like one of my mutuals, right? Okay, we gotta make code names. So the guy that I was talking to, we're gonna call him M. And then the guy who's like one of both of ours like mutuals, we're gonna call him S. And then the other guy who's just my mutual, we're gonna call him X. But one night at like 2 a.m, I was getting ready to go to sleep because I had school the next day. And M, so you know the guy that I was talking to, he texted me, right? And he was like, oh, do you know if S has like a boyfriend? So remember our mutual. He was like, do you know if S has like a boyfriend or anything right now? And he did. So I was like, oh yeah, like he did. Why? Like what's up? Like what about it? You know what I mean? Oh, and the guy that I was talking to proceeds to tell me that S, our mutual, was on the black and yellow app. If you know what that is, then you know. And if you don't, just, okay, whatever. He was on that app over talking with some, oh, I'm single and I'm not dating anybody, and saying all these photos and pictures and all this other stuff. So keep in mind, the guy that he's dating, I know as well. And it's like, me personally, I don't care who tells me, I don't care whatever, but if I was being like cheated on, I would want to know. So now I'm on the phone with him, like the guy who I was talking to, and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh my God, like, what do we do? Like, should we say something? Like, I don't know what to do. And, you know, like, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, it's the right thing to do, but at the same time, like, I'm not, like, that close with these two people. So it's like, you know, I don't want to, like, be up in their business, but it's like, me personally, I would want to know. I don't give a damn. I would want to know. So he was showing me all the texts. He sent me, like, the screenshots of, like, everything. And, like, when I tell you, maybe he was acting real single. Let's just say that. So, you know, I'm over here, like, should I send, like, the hey girl text? Should I be like, oh, you know, like, text him, like, what's up or whatever? But, like, we didn't know what to do. And it's like, okay, this happened, like, a little bit ago, but now that I'm thinking about it, why didn't he just text, wait a minute. Why didn't he just text me and be like, hey, aren't you dating blah, blah, blah? And then screenshot that shit and then just send it? Because if they both have, like, private accounts or, like, you know, anonymous accounts, then what's the issue? So we end up just sleeping on it because it was, like, 2 a.m, and, well, I had school the next morning. He's graduated. Anyways, that's besides the point. So, y'all, what should I do? Like, I don't know what to do. Should I text? Should I not say anything? Should I just, like, I don't know what to do. Because it's, like, me personally, I would want to know, like, if my friends, my friends know better than that. Like, they would text me immediately. Or honestly, just, like, even anybody. Like, I would just want someone to text me immediately, but it's, like, I don't know if, like, I should. Because it's like, that's not any of my business, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So y'all, please let me know what to do down in the comments below because it's starting to get serious. I'm getting nervous.
So you're telling me a 9-year-old girl got a tattoo on her neck? So basically in Arizona, there's no, like, certain age you have to be to get a tattoo. And this 9-year-old girl walks in asking for a Donald Trump tattoo on her neck. But I think she got an American flag one on her arm. And the tattoo artist did it for $500. I was like, damn. I have a feeling when she's, like, older, she's gonna regret that tattoo. Not saying it's because of what the tattoo is. It's because it's a tattoo. Like, when I was 9, I wanted rainbow unicorn hair. If I got that, would I regret that now? Yes. If I were to get a tattoo, what would I get? Literally nothing I can think of because I show no interest in getting tattoos ever. Anyways, I love you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.
Guys, get ready with me while I tell you about the time I literally got kidnapped in Mexico. This happened about literally last year. It's about to make a year and I haven't really told no one about it because honestly that was like one of my scariest experiences like I've ever gone through, and till this day I'm still scared. So yeah, I ended up going to visit family in Sinaloa and we ended up going to Mazatlan for like 2 nights. It was our last night there, and me being me suggested we go to like a high-end club. I was like, I want to spend my money. Like, I want to go to a nice club. My cousins ended up, agreeing with me, and they're like, okay, like, we're gonna go to El Clásico. And El Clásico is like those really good clubs where like all the musicians go, and it's just like a really high-end club. So we ended up going, but before we went, like, I had this feeling. I was like, oh, I don't know if like I want to go, because that whole day we're at the beach and I was already exhausted. But I'm like, I'm gonna have FOMO. If I don't go, like, I'm gonna be like crying. So I'm like, no, like, let's suck it up, like, let's go. We ended up going, and getting there, my uncle got off to see how much the fee was to get in. I think the fee was like 2,000 pesos, and my uncle was like, oh, they're just switching it up because they know we're not from here. So my uncle was like, let's make a U-turn and let's call other places to see how much the entrance fee is, and if it's like a little bit more expensive, we're just gonna stay here. Right when we were doing the U-turn, I noticed the parking lot was full of Beamers, Range Rovers, Mercedes. So I was like, no, we have to get in here. Like, this club is gonna be good, So we still made that U-turn, and we parked on the other side of the street. And right when we parked, we noticed these police literally come behind us, and they started ringing their siren. The police started inspecting our car because they're like, this car isn't from here. You don't have like this license plate. But we actually did. Before we got to the place, we actually ended up switching that because we knew it was going to be a problem over there. So we had it. Basically, they started like literally going through every inch of the car, and then my aunt was like, hey, like, look at their hands, because they're known to stash drugs and blame it on you and get money out of you. So we're looking at their hands, but long story short, they ended up stashing the drugs inside of my uncle's pocket. Like, literally, they're like, your uncle has coke, and we knew he didn't have coke. They literally stashed it. Part two.